This is a very, very simple video about a contract. A contract, first of all, just to remind many of you and to instruct or teach some of you others, it's an agreement between two people, two parties. That's what a contract is. What makes a contract have any teeth or any power or strength or authority is the signature. It's not just one signature. When you have a contract or an agreement that only one person signs, it's not enforceable. Although people will try to make you believe that it is, it's not. Let's say, for example, I were to draw up a contract and I say, hey, I'm going to build a stone wall around your house and I want $5,000 to build that stone wall. It's going to be 20 feet long, it's going to be 8 feet tall. This is something, of course, that you've requested. You were looking for someone to build a stone wall, and I happen to be one of the contractors. Okay? So I say I want $5,000 to build this 20-foot long and 8-foot tall stone wall. All right? Now, you, the property owner, you look at the terms of this particular contract and or agreement, and you say, I believe that 5,000 is a bit steep. How about 4,500, 4,500? Now, I, the person who originally drew the contract up, as the contractor, I could say, well, I'll make an exception. I could do it for 4,500. And then you, the purchaser or the homeowner, you sign it and I sign it. And that's what makes it binding as an agreement or a contract. Now, let's flip it. Let's say I, the contractor, again, gave you the same terms and said $5,000, and you, the property owner, said in your mind and to your family, I can't afford $5,000, but I'll go ahead and do it anyway. And so you sign it. But the contractor didn't explain any other specific terms to you other than they wanted $5,000 for building this stone wall 20 by 8 foot, right? And they told you what the materials were that they were going to use and so forth. But the issue here is the amount of money. Forget about the particulars as far as the materials. But you can't afford $5,000, but you sign it anyway. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen, and understand this. You don't have to sign anything, number one, that you don't understand. You don't have to sign anything that you believe that you cannot comply with. You don't. And you should not ever feel compelled or forced into signing anything that you don't understand and that you can't do or carry out. Never let anyone make you feel this way, but many people do this to average citizens every single day. But oh, brother teacher, the court system has you sign documents all the time. You don't read them, but through fear and intimidation, you go ahead and sign it anyway, and you are liable because you consented. Big corporations will have you sign agreements all day long, and you'll sign them. When you want cable television, they'll have a contract that have small print When you're buying insurance, they'll have a contract and there'll be small print and you're signing it anyway because you never take the time to read anything because you feel pressured. So you go ahead and do it anyway. And it ends up getting back to you or biting you in the behind down the road. But you can't do anything about it because you consented. Understand this. You have a right to say no. You have a right to disagree. You have a right to not accept their terms and to even modify the terms of the contract just because they are the originators of the documentation doesn't mean that they're God. It doesn't mean that it fits you. It fits them, not you. You must make it be amicable between the two of you. It must be something that fit both of you, and the terms of that agreement and or contract should be mutually accepted between the two parties, you and them. Not just, we want you to do this, and you say, okay, I'll sign it. It's not supposed to be that way. So understand this, ladies and gentlemen, that you indeed do have the power to say no. And you can make an amendment to that contract. And if they decide that they won't accept what your terms are or the changes or amendments that you want to make to that agreement, then you say, okay, I'll go elsewhere. And let's see what happens then. Okay? But never feel like you are backed into a corner and that you have no options, that you have no say-so, because you do. That contract is never enforceable until you both agree, not just them agree, and then you just accept any old thing. So, if it takes you taking that contract home with you in 2 or 3 days and say, I'll bring it back to you after I have read it, or I'll give it to a family member, my husband and I will watch it, or go over it, I should say, or my lawyer, and reread it, and then we'll tell you what our decision is. If it takes you doing that, then do it. But don't just spontaneously, on the spot, they say, well, sign this, and you put your John Hancock on there. Never do that. If there's writing on the contract like this, you have the right and you reserve, it's only paper, to take your pen and slash it out or draw a line through something that you don't agree with. And you let them see it. And if they accept the fact that you changed it or made an amendment to it, and you both sign off on it, then it becomes law. That's it. And that's all in general on the contracts. If you have any further questions, just ask.